So I'm going to redo this video since it put a sound in there that I can't get rid of. So starting in October of 2022, there was a mandatory recall on methylphenidate extended release, also known as Concerta. When this occurred, it was because there was a concern that the potency of the Concerta was not the correct potency for the dose. So they told the manufacturer, I think it was a generic one, not going to name names because they've already been punished. They told them you have to voluntary recall, you have to fix your potency issue, and then you can start making the medication again. Well, because that medication wasn't available for patients, it shifted things to doctors and other providers having to use different medications. Then that creates a different shortage because then those medications are being used more than what's expected. On top of everything, we had the logistical nightmare that is called COVID pandemic. That was still sending ripple effects in the early 2020s and is still sending ripple effects well into 2025. We still have logistic issues. For example, I can only order vaccines through the VFC program through the state of Oklahoma once a month. I used to be able to order VFC vaccines 4 times a month. Now I can only order them once a month, and it can take up to 3 weeks because if I run out of vaccines after I've already ordered, which happens if we have more checkups and more vaccines administered than what was expected in the time frame, I have to wait 3 weeks for the next shipment. So it's created a lot of logistical nightmares still to this day. In addition to this recall that occurred back in 2022, there were also an increase in diagnoses and an increase in prescriptions. So the increase in diagnoses seems to be mostly among the adults. The increase in prescriptions also amongst adults. Since adults and children sometimes take the same dose, there's more competition and more demand and not enough supply. There's an additional phase to this, which I don't really know if this is true or not, but I can't verify it. But I suspect that the FDA and manufacturers could have a conversation about improving the supply available, but the FDA is hesitant to do so. They are difficult to work with, needless to say. So hopefully that answers things. It's more patients being diagnosed, more medications being prescribed. It's more adults being treated alongside children being treated. It's medications that were recalled that are now available. And there's one other thing. So Vyvanse went generic around the same time, and that also created some issues. I think that was in 2023 because it was the 17-year mark of the patent. So that also created some confusion. So Vyvanse is a medication that normally I had to use the name brand, and then a lot of insurances says no, now you have to use the generic because it's less expensive for the insurance. However, for Sooner Care or Medicaid, they prefer us to use Vyvanse up until July of this year, and now they said, no, you can't use Vyvanse. Even if the people are already on it and happily using the medication, they still don't want us to use it. So, yay, restrictive formularies, recalls, supply and demand, increased diagnoses, and it's created quite a maelstrom. And this is not just ADHD medication, it's also affecting other adult doctors and other patients. It's a general issue. So hopefully that answers it. Again, sorry about that. The music, hopefully I won't have that interrupting my voice.